Hello my lovely friends, welcome to another Lissa video. Today I'd like to talk about what to do if you're feeling overwhelmed with changing over your lifestyle. It can certainly be overwhelming when you go from something that you've grown up with, all of the habits that you've created, all of the belief systems that you have from the past, and moving over into a new realm where things are different, things are not normal. But we can feel very overwhelmed when we're jumping into something brand new, and we need to kind of like unlearn everything and relearn how to live this new lifestyle, raw veganism, or whatever you're trying to do. It can be very overwhelming. So my number one top piece of advice is to take one day at a time. Focus on today only. If you have to, focus meal by meal, focus workout by workout, focus night by night if you're trying to improve your sleep. Focus one day at a time. You don't need to think about doing this for 5 years or doing a 30-day challenge. 30-day challenges are great and they're awesome, but I don't think that they are conducive in a way. Yes, I have 30-day meal plans, and I'll probably do challenges in the future as well. We don't need to focus on that and identifying with it, because a lot of people will feel that if they slip up one day or they miss something or whatever, then they feel all this guilt and regret, and we shouldn't. We really should not feel those negative emotions towards ourselves. If you are part of a challenge, that's a great thing. You're doing something amazing for yourself. And even if you missed a day or whatever, like I'm doing a 30-day yoga challenge, a hot yoga challenge. I'm just trying to do it for the month of June because I'm leaving in July to travel around and do a lot of stuff and get my summer going with all the food festivals and the visa and getting married. So I wanted to do 30 days for the month of June. Now I'm not doing it because I want to do 30 days. The reason is because I feel that those kinds of challenges can bring those negative emotions. I just want to do it for 30 days, and if I do it for 30 days, great. If I do it for 28 of those 30 days, great. That's another thing that I wanted to throw in here to this video was a lot of people feel overwhelmed by numbers. For example, being raw for 180 days or being raw for 365 days. I keep track of my days in my YouTube videos. In the description box, you can see what day I am on as a raw vegan, only for tracking purposes so that you can kind of tell where my videos are. If you don't see the date, you can see kind of where I was in my raw food journey, but I really don't care about the days. I really don't, because I'm just a raw vegan and I do it every day. So there is something to be said about not paying attention to those, and there are some people who have messaged me who will have been raw for say 68 days, and they're like, I was raw for 68 days and then I ate this thing or whatever, and now I gotta start from day one. What am I gonna do? And they feel all sad and regretful, and they get all negative on themselves. And this is a classic thing that happens when you're trying to keep track of your days or whatever. Keep track of your days if you want to, but don't put all of your identity into those days. And don't use those days as a note of failure. I guess, let me try and explain it. Like, if this person goes 68 days raw, and then they eat potato chips, and then they start off from day one, it feels very like you're going back to square one. You're going right back to the beginning. But this person just had 2 months of eating raw. This says something. This is amazing. This is so much growth and so much learning and so much health that they've given themselves. You can't discount that. You can't just start from day one again over here and feel like you're starting from day one over here, because you've had 68 days. So if you have 68 days with one slip, you could say, I'm on day 69 with one slip. that feels so much more empowering than saying, I'm on day one. I'm starting from scratch all over again. No, you did so much good for yourself in those 2 months before. So if you do happen to have a couple slips, maybe say I was raw for 800 days, but I had 3 slips. That sounds so much more empowering, and that brings a lot more, I guess, compassion towards yourself, and you feel much more pride in your choices because you're like, well, for 797 days, I chose raw, except for those 3 times, which, you know, it happens. We have learning experiences or whatever. So, yeah, don't feel overwhelmed by the numbers. If you're feeling overwhelmed, remember that when you tip over an hourglass, 1 sand grain goes through that hole every time a grain goes down. You don't get them all at once. It goes 1 grain at a time. So don't feel overwhelmed. Focus 1 day at a time. Focus on today. If you are going to be raw today, what's the next meal that you're going to do that's raw? If it's dinner, make something raw for dinner. If it's nighttime, time to go to sleep, write in your journal what you plan to have tomorrow. Don't write in your journal what you plan to have for the next 800 days. You want to plan what you're going to have tomorrow and just focus on tomorrow. If you want to have zoodles on Tuesday or Friday, grab those zucchinis at the store. Of course you want to plan ahead, but just keep your focus on today. You don't need to worry about being better than anyone else or being raw longer than someone else or doing a juice fast longer than someone else. Just focus 1 day at a time and listen to your body. And we will be able to reach our goals if we are a little bit more focused and using smaller goals. It's great to have big goals. Don't get me wrong, you should have big goals, but split it up into smaller ones so it doesn't feel so overwhelming, because we look at, you know, somebody who's been raw. I mean, for me, I'll look at someone who's been raw for 30 years. It's like, whew, that's a lot. But especially when I first started, I was like, oh man, it would be so amazing if I could get raw for 5 years. But that felt overwhelming. I really just had to take it 1 day at a time, especially coming from food addictions. I had to do it 1 day at a time because feeling like I was never going to have potato chips for the rest of my life felt really scary. It was hard to accept. But if I just said, I'm not going to have potato chips today, and just focused on today, it was a lot less overwhelming, and it was easier to make those choices every single day because I only had today to focus on. And today is really the only day that matters because that's the present moment, and we should be living more in the present moment, more in tune with this very moment right now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please click like. You can find all of my raw vegan recipes at this link right here. These are all ebooks, and I have print versions available on Amazon. You can find all the links also in the description below. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Raw Food Romance, on Facebook, Lissa's Raw Food Romance, and on Snapchat, Lissa Raw Vegan. So don't worry, don't feel overwhelmed. Just keep focusing 1 day at a time and know that you are loved. Fruit on.